Hello, Doctor. My name is Loh Wei Chen from Btmi Section 2. Now I would like to present about the final year project. The title I choose is Change and Future Trends of E-commerce to Business Model. For this study background, e-commerce adoption is critical for business success in the digital era. Motivations for e-commerce adoption include increased sales and revenue potential, changing consumer preference towards online shopping, and technological advancement also play a significant role in driving e-commerce adoption. Future trends for e-commerce include the prominence of mobile commerce and the emergence of social commerce and augmented reality. Optimizing platforms for mobile responsiveness and leveraging social and interactive features are crucial. Augment, augmented reality enhances the customer experience and decision-making process. E-commerce adoption is essential for business to remain competitive and leverage digital opportunities. The problem statement is the mass adoption of e-commerce as a preferred business model has brought significant changes to the business landscape. So understanding the underlying factors driving this adoption is crucial for businesses and policymakers. The development of e-commerce infrastructure and supportive technologies has facilitated adoption. Then the challenges such as cyber security and data privacy need to be addressed. Traditional business must adapt and transform to remain competitive in the digital landscape. Understanding these factors enable informed decision making and the development of supportive policies and strategies. And next is research objective. The research objective have 5. That is to determine the relationship between relative advantage and adoption of e-commerce, to determine the relationship between IT knowledge and adoption of e-commerce, to determine the relationship between competitive pressure and adoption of e-commerce, to determine the relationship between government support and adoption of e-commerce, to determine the relationship between security and adoption of e-commerce. Next is research questions. Research questions also have 5. That is, does relative advantage have a positive impact on adoption of e-commerce? Does IT knowledge have a positive impact on adoption of e-commerce? Does competitive pressure have a positive impact on adoption of e-commerce? Does government support have a positive impact on adoption of e-commerce? Does security have a positive impact on adoption of e-commerce? Next is scope and limitation. This study explored the adoption and future trends of e-commerce and its impact on business models with a focus on Generation X. And this study conducted using quantitative research methods, including questionnaire surveys and integration of previous studies with a selected sample population of Generation X. The limitation of this study is limiting the research object to Generation X may lead to biased perception of e-commerce as a whole due to narrow crowd opinions. In literature review, 5 independent variables that I got from the past research. First is relative advantage. It means to perceive benefits and advantage associated with the adoption of e-commerce. It encompasses factors such as increased efficiency, cost savings, and expected market reach, improved customer experience, and competitive advantage. Next is IT knowledge, and the author is Rogers from 2003. Next is IT knowledge. The mean of IT knowledge is level of understanding and proficiency that organization possess regarding information technology systems, tools, and applications. The author is Tamanpo 2010. Third variable is competitive pressure. It means to external forces and market conditions that drive organizations to adapt and innovate to maintain a competitive advantage. Author is Porter 208. The last two variables is security and government support. Security is measures and safeguards implemented by organizations to protect the privacy and trust of consumers. Author is Akram and the other from 2019. Government support is initiative, policies, and interventions implemented by governments to promote and facilitate the adoption of e-commerce among businesses and consumers. Author is Sui and Sun 2020. The figure following is the conceptual framework. Independent variable is relative advantage, IT knowledge, competitive pressures, security, government support, and adoption of e-commerce is dependent variable. Next is research design. First part for research design is quantitative research that will be used in this study, that is empirical evidence and numerical insights to collect and analyze data. The data collection methods will use survey questionnaire that will target to Generation X from account for 60% of the total population of Malaysia, which is a total of 5,430,115 population. To ensure the validity and representativeness of the findings, a combination of probability and non-probability sampling techniques will be utilized, that is stratified random sampling and convenience sampling. The use of both probability and non-probability sampling techniques will help balance the need for representative data while also considering practical limitations such as time and resource constraints. The sampling size that I got is 400 for of the Generation X respondents. The method of data analysis will use SPSS, that is statistical product and service solutions, to perform data management and statistical analysis. To ensure the validity and reliability of data collected in this data analysis, also will evaluate the data validity from official certification, time validity, and logical validity. And then this study also will use coverage alpha to evaluate the reliability of data. That's all for my presentation. Thank you, Doctor.